Hello, YouTubians!
What's up, everybody?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Greetings.
However, whenever you're watching this, we appreciate you because we already know time is expensive.
Thank you for tuning in.
And thank you for subscribing, bot or not. But if you're here for the first time, this show is about everything and anything
Creative.
Anything that sparks your creativity in whatever medium you dabble in.
Yes, expressing your creative soul.
And welcome to another episode of Creativity
Unsheath.
I'm Oliver Siegel.
I'm Nino.
And yes, we are brothers.
Yes, we are.
And this is the show where we feel
that the artist navigates the darkness with inner vision.
Right? Just being that spark in someone's life. You know,
I hope.
By you just doing you and just doing your thing. And regardless of what medium you're dabbling in, and to inspire someone to do their thing.
Yeah, man, ironically enough, having the not-so-perfect life with struggles and just overcoming those trials and tribulations of your own life and just turning your life around, it's inspiring to others.
And why we're talking about this and what we're looking in today is the people under the stairs.
I love this movie.
It's one of Wes Craven's under-the-radar horror movies.
Underrated, man.
Right?
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Wes Craven.
Yes, thank you.
When you hear his name, you automatically think Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Scream, The Hills Have Eyes,
Yeah.
The Last House on the Left, The Swamp Thing.
Cool.
Again, when you hear his name, you hear those hits. But this movie was definitely ahead of the curve because he touches upon the social commentaries that, surprisingly enough, still goes on today.
Yes.
And again, rest in peace, Wes Craven, because he wrote and directed this film.
Nice.
And for this story, Wes Craven got inspired by an actual true story, by the facts of two robbers actually breaking into a home, discovering that there were children locked up by their parents.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Right? And again, this still happens today. I'm forgetting that family's name, but they found 7 children locked up, or more than 7, and then one of them was able to...
got away. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. It's like they all had...
Both and they were wearing that Thing 1 and Thing 2 sweaters.
Crazy thought it still exists.
Yes, man. It really is a horrifying thing to even experience, man.
Right. On top of the real horrors of gentrification, class warfare, and capitalism, keeping people oppressed. It's not just a gore fest, y'all. If that's not real life horror for you, we're about to look into this movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, first save this episode and definitely watch it and listen to our takes.
Yeah.
But you want to know all the spoilers, then continue on with this episode. This movie opens up with a tarot reading. And I feel like this tarot reading foresees what this movie is going to be about, right?
Yeah.
The person giving the tarot reading is Ruby, who is Poindexter's older sister, I believe, but he goes by the name of Fool, and he got that nickname from these such tarot cards.
Right.
And Fool doesn't like to be reminded of that such nickname, but he'll take it for what it is.
Yeah.
And Fool is being played by Brandon Adams. You may have recognized him from The Sandlots.
Sandlots, the picture, yeah,
Right.
Sandlots.
With the heater,
Nice.
or in Mighty Ducks 1 and 2.
Yes. He made a few cameos in TV. Fresh Prince,
Yep.
Moesha.
Definitely that well-notable Moonwalker,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
A young Michael Jackson.
And he played young Michael in the Bad video.
Yes, he did.
Baby Michael. Check that out, y'all.
Yeah.
Like Alfonso Ribeiro,
Dude, seriously.
right? He did the Pepsi commercial.
With Michael.
Yo.
This story continues. This family's being evicted. Their living conditions is not up to par. It's really...
Run down.
But they're paying high rent to this corrupt landlords.
Yes.
On top of the high rent, they can't really afford their mom's surgery.
Yeah.
You know, medical bills, because she is, at that time, she was fighting cancer.
Yeah.
And they can't afford the surgery, so they're just living it day by day at this point.
Yeah.
But with that given eviction notice, they're in desperate mode at this point.
Yes.
So with that desperation kicking in, Fool meets Leroy, played by Ving Rhames.
Bing.
And Leroy is pretty much this cat burglar, maybe, if you want to say, or
robber, however you want to put it.
he definitely plays a character that does his best making ends meet, whatever desperate case that may be, but he too, just like in this neighborhood, they all have to find ways to survive.
Yes, by any means necessary.
Right. So he pitches this idea to Ruby, Fool's older sister, that he knows where to get the money as far as gold coins.
Yeah.
Because he found a treasure map that leads to their landlords. So he knows where these landlords live.
Right, right. And the map in which the liquor store they robbed from was owned by these landlords.
Right. On top of 50 plus other
buildings and condominiums
within the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So with that found information, Leroy has what he thinks is a foolproof plan that he's going to run with his partner, Spencer.
A foolproof plan.
No pun intended. The next day hits. Ruby has no choice, right? Their family is in desperation. Their time limit.
Midnight of that day.
Yeah. So here is Leroy, his associate Spencer, and Fool. You know, they're scoping out their landlord's house. But they go by the Robesons.
The Robesons, which is, they live in a funeral home turned into a home. That's crazy.
So Leroy's attempt was to have Fool dress up as a
bear trooper, a little Boy Scout.
Right? Selling cookies and stuff. At the same time, he was scoping out the place like he's supposed to.
Yeah,
right?
Infiltrating, yeah.
And then here comes Mrs. Robeson, but she goes by the name of Mommy. And then Fool gives his acting chops, portrays as this Boy Scout.
Yeah.
You know, tried to persuade her to buy cookies. But she wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
And, you know, what did she say?
She says, we watch what we eat very carefully here.
And the way she said that really seemed eerie and suspicious like, but those were her words. And makes you wonder, what do they eat?
Yeah, man.
So Fool was being denied entrance, so he even tried other things, but she still wasn't having it. So I guess on to phase 2, right?
Phase 2, yeah.
Here comes the associate Spencer. He dresses up as an employee for the gas company.
Right.
And it almost looks foolproof, right? But for Mrs. Robeson, she's not buying it either because of his getup. The smallest detail of his skull ring, if you will.
Yeah.
You know? He forgot that one detail. He had everything down to the hat, shirt, even his identification.
Yeah.
But Mrs. Robeson wasn't vibing it, but she let him in anyways.
Yeah. For what reason? Who knows?
Who knows? So he enters. Leroy and Fool, they're out in their van scoping out, right, waiting for their cube. However, the Robesons leave. Both Mr. and Mrs. Robeson. They're waiting for Spencer to come out. No, they're surprised that he didn't. They feel that he's going to be greedy on his part because he might have found what they were looking for.
Right, yeah.
So they go in there after him. Story continues. Here's Leroy and Fool breaking and entering. But Leroy is doing all the work as far as being the experienced one, and Fool is just being the backup.
Yeah, the lookout, the viewer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They break in, they're inside, but the house looks run down as well. Yeah. You know, nothing's upkept. There's dust everywhere, dead flies. Again, it being a former funeral home.
You get like leftover funeral stuff.
Right? Fool just looks confused, but they're not there to look at the decorations. They're there to find Spencer and the gold before the Robesons come back.
Yep.
And then here's Leroy doing his thing. He breaks it open. He gets the second door open, but here's a surprise Rottweiler.
Oh,
you know, the Robesons' guard dog, if you will.
Named Prince.
Not that Prince, but Prince. Right away went after Leroy, and Leroy's trying to fight the dog off, and this Rottweiler was just well trained and just was fed well, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Fool comes to quick thinking and gave the dog
an insult.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
like
fuzz face. Your mama sleep with cats.
Right.
And he understood it and he stopped.
The dog went after him, but Fool was successfully able to dodge him by hanging on to the door frame.
Went right under him.
Yeah, out of harm's way from Prince. So now they're successfully back in there safely, and then now their next goal is to find Spencer.
Yeah.
And they part ways. They're looking around, you know, Leroy goes upstairs and Fool goes down to the basement.
Yeah, he had balls to go down there.
Seriously. And this house, y'all, it's really big, and
it's a character on its own.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as you walk in, you get these like dreadful vibes, like heavy vibes, dark vibes.
Definitely something like the Addams family would be living in.
Exactly.
You know?
Definitely, yeah. The Addams family.
Or the Munsters, however you want to go about it. But you just see that kind of family living in his home.
Yeah.
Story continues. Fool goes down to the basement because he sees Spencer's clipboard and lighter.
Yeah.
So he says,
Spencer.
No response, but there's this ghostly voice.
Yeah.
You know, that says, Fool.
Yeah.
If anything, that could have been Spencer's
last words
before he passed, because you see Fool looking around and just trying to investigate this whole basement, and like with that small lighter, like that had a lot of juice in it. But you see him trying to look inside that pen or some part of this dungeon, because there's a television set playing, but it's like grainy and static and white noise. It's barely giving any picture. But whoever's on the other side watching it, they're able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But there's something behind it that frightened him, which made him run, and she trips over Spencer's body, right?
Yeah. Like, kind of leaving it to the imagination. It's like he was like pale white. So as if like he had a heart attack from being so scared. On top of maybe his health.
Laying there lifeless.
Face down.
Clutching that gold coin.
Yeah.
He found what he was looking for, but whatever got him that pale white scared him to death.
Yeah.
But in this dungeon-like basement, he finds his gold coin, you know.
He finally sees the people in the stairs.
He's being flashed with these lights from the other side of the pen, and he's hearing murmuring and gibberish, and he's like, he doesn't know what or who's behind those walls. And then here's another surprise by Roach, you know, a supposed child who got away and that's running around in this home.
And between the walls.
Right, but with Fool being the outsider, he doesn't know who this person is. You know, he's like,
jumps on his back. Like, who the fuck is this?
Right, trying to fight him off. He's just surprised, and he just ends up running away. He runs back upstairs. He's banging on the door, and surprisingly enough, a girl opens the door. Fool surprised himself, but he didn't think twice, and he just tried to get out. But Roach is trying to get him. You know,
grab his ankles.
Again, Fool being the outsider, he doesn't know who this person is.
Yeah.
But in reality, Roach is trying to help him. He's trying to get him out.
Yeah.
Right? Story continues. Fool gets out of that basement safely. He closed that basement door behind him and secured it, make sure whatever that thing was not going to come out.
Right.
But he doesn't know that Roach already runs behind those walls.
Yeah.
The Robesons return home. They're blocking their driveway. They're blocking their way out. Now they're trapped. Now how they're going to get out.
Yeah.
So Fool tries to find Leroy. He goes upstairs. He's quietly screaming for Leroy, but then he finds Leroy on the ground.
Yeah.
He thought he's dead, and he touches him, and then Leroy flinches. Man, Leroy, you scared me. I thought you were dead.
I heard him down there, Fool.
He heard something, you know, because he hears something in the vent. But then Fool breaks down the news that the Robesons are home, and now they're in panic mode. They try to get out, but they can't go in the back way because that's where the Robesons are coming in, you know. And they're breaking down that door to send in the Rottweiler, Prince.
Yeah.
Leroy and Fool try to go out the front, but that door is rigged, like some Home Alone shit, like electric
doorknob.
Yeah, and just shock Fool. And Leroy is running out of ideas as far as how to get out of there. But then the Rottweiler Prince coming in, so now they're hiding. But Fool's the only one not, and Leroy's trying to use him as bait. But
while we hide behind the couch.
But that didn't work because Prince went straight for Leroy.
Because he popped out. He popped his head out.
Yeah.
And then the dog was, hey, there he is.
That's what I want. So there is the Rottweiler just chewing down on Leroy. Leroy just trying to get away. Fool, quick thinking, grabs Leroy and just trying to lure him, pull him to that doorknob.
Yeah.
And this creates this whole chain reaction of electric current. And just shocking both of them, including Prince, the Rottweiler.
Nice. And he finally let go of Leroy.
Twitching out of control and just dazed out.
Yeah, but he's still alive.
For sure. The Robesons enter because they hear something go down, right?
And I heard him go down.
Right? They thought it was the burglars, but no, it was the Rottweiler.
Yeah.
So then now here's Daddy, Mr. Robeson, and they're trying to figure out their way how to get out of there.
And back upstairs.
They go back upstairs and
trying to open every door in the hallway.
Right. Leroy ends up in the closet. Fool ends up at the end of the hallway. Apparently,
it's game time.
Right. It's hunting season for him.
And turn off the lights.
And again, this house is a character of its own, y'all.
Yeah.
They have a secret compartment where they have switches and locks.
Which, funny enough, homes today have.
Yeah.
As far as like modern living and furniture. Like very discreet.
Everything being controlled by an app.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Story continues. Here's Mr. Robeson ready to hunt, you know.
Shotgun, man.
Everything is double locked at this point, and there is no way of getting out.
Yeah, no way out.
So now here's Fool and Leroy. They're in the dark. They just go in hiding mode. Here's Daddy walking down the hallway.
Yeah.
They're trying to avoid Daddy's flashlight, and you know he's armed with a pistol and just ready for whatever's gonna pop out.
Yeah.
But for Leroy, he didn't expect Roach to come popping out from that secret compartment in the closet. And that scared him. Leroy pops out and Daddy finds him.
Leroy gets blinded by the light.
Daddy shot him down dead cold, and they start celebrating as if like they really enjoy that kind of game.
Yeah,
you know?
Leroy was screaming, "Run, fool!"
They mistakenly thought that Leroy was calling them a fool,
Yeah.
but they didn't know that there was a second person in the house. Fool's devastated. He's on the staircase looking at Leroy's dead body. Now he's trying to figure out how he's going to get out. So he goes back up into the hallway, and then he sees this candle with, I don't know, like a voodoo doll or what. But then this doll gets pulled into a vent, which lures Fool to go in there. But it looks like it's Prince's bedding or his area. But on the other side of this vent, he sees the girl that saved him from the basement.
Yeah.
He goes in there, and then here comes Daddy, thinking it's Roach, the loose child that's running in the walls. And he goes in there shooting his pistol, but of course luckily Fool is not hurt. Now he's on the other side of the house. But he's still trying to figure out a way to get out, and he just ends up in this bathroom where he finally gets to meet Alice. He finally gets to meet the girl that opened the basement door for him. But she's afraid, you know, she's afraid of not just a black person, but just a person in general, because she's being held captive. She doesn't get let out of the house.
Yeah, she doesn't know the outside world.
Exactly. Fool doesn't find that normal, but he's trying to get out, and she's telling him, I need to get out of here. But she's telling him, oh, no one gets out of here.
Yeah.
She's telling him that's why there's people under the stairs in the basement. She tells him that they were children who broke the see, hear, speak no evil rules of the Robeson household. Alice tries to show him a way out through a secret compartment in the cabinet of this door, but Fool doesn't want to go in. He wants the way out. But she said the only way out is the way in. But Fool, again, being an outsider, he's trying to rely on his street smarts on this point. And luckily enough, here are the police, because they recognize the van that Leroy, Spencer, and Fool pulled up in because it was tied to other burglaries. But then here's Fool trying to get the cops' attention. He's screaming police, banging on the window, but these windows are soundproof.
Yep, and
You
deadbolt.
again, there's no one getting out of this house. And now at this point, the ropes are trying to convince the cops that there's no harm done, no foul. You know, they don't want no more attention that they need at this point.
Yeah.
Like, the cops were really persistent, and, you know, they really wanted to get in that house, but the Robesons really threw in their acting skills and just really convinced them otherwise, and the cops said, okay, well, just be on the lookout and just stay indoors. And then, you know, them being their creepy selves, they said, oh, we will. Story continues, the cops leave, but Mrs. Robeson, she finds out that there is another person in the house. You know, they find out that it's the boy child, it's Fool, and Daddy has more hunting to do. He got his scent, and now he's gonna go hunting. So now Daddy's back in, now he's ready to hunt. Fool's trying to hide, and he tried to go into that secret compartment that Alice showed him, but for some reason it was locked from the inside. And he couldn't get in, so now he has to figure out another way out. But then Fool was too loud because Prince heard him. You know, the Rottweiler went upstairs, and now he's chasing Fool around the house. And just chasing throughout the house makes you wonder how they built this house to be for what it is. And
for what reason?
Yeah, for what reason, I don't know. But this house lives, and the story continues. Fool's continue being chased by Prince, or he's end up locked in a secondary bathroom, if you will, or maybe the same bathroom that he met Alice in, but he just locks himself in there, punching the Rottweiler in the nose, because he's really that strong, and for whatever they feed him, again, I don't know, y'all, you have to watch it for yourself. But here's Prince making loud noises and trying to tell Daddy that someone's in there, and you know, Daddy gets it open, shoots it down with his shotgun. Daddy pops his head in through that hole that he blasted. Then here's Fool with the toilet lid cover. Fool just knocks him out with it.
Smashes his head.
Cracks his skull open, but you figured Daddy is dead, but no, this guy just has a lot of layers to him. Fool's trying to find a way out, but here comes Roach. Roach opens a secret compartment, pulls Fool in, and Daddy tried to open that compartment, but again, it was just another layer that he can't open. Only Roach knows.
Probably from the inside,
Yeah, so he shoots it down with his shotgun, and total Looney Tunes moment here. You see Daddy screaming, I'm gonna kill you, but Roach pops around that corner and shoots a slingshot, just hitting Daddy in the head.
Like in Looney Tunes, especially Daddy's reaction to, he just looks up in the air and just in a daze.
Right, you're just waiting for the three birds and the stars around his head, and Roach just laughs as if this is like one big feud between these two.
Yeah,
it's like
Hatfield and McCoy, right?
Right, or the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner.
Yeah,
you know,
Tom and Jerry.
Story continues. Roach is now trying to get Fool to safety because Daddy comes to and he throws in Prince. You know, Prince, the Rottweiler, is now running in these walls. He's trying to sniff them down. Roach and Fool are trying to keep it moving because they already know Prince is on their tail. But Fool is just amazed, like the characteristics of the inside. And there's one section where it's all decked out in Christmas lights, and as if like that's where Roach sleeps.
They light a pathway, right?
But he had no time to explain. He had to get Fool to safety. However, Roach created some of his own tricks in between those walls. He was able to lure Prince on this trap door, if you will, and Roach pulls a lever. Prince just falls down in that trap.
Yeah, it's on a slide. That was cool.
That looked fun. Daddy and Mommy, they're in the kitchen wondering what that sound is, and then here is Prince ends up in the kitchen with that doll dressed up as Fool.
Like he's like, I got him.
Not what they expected. But they have a feeling that they're in Alice's room.
Yeah.
Right? Because Mommy knows that Alice is known to be making such dolls.
Yeah.
So now Roach has brought Fool safely to Alice's room.
Nice.
They all get to formally meet. Fool's getting a better understanding of what this house is and who Roach is and why there's people under the stairs.
Yeah.
And that these dolls that are being made are the victims that enter this house.
Yeah. Kind of makes sense. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Makes them a fool in the ropes inside and in the character Fool.
Yeah.
Now he sees all and hears all going on in that house.
Yep. And that whole see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil rules of the Robeson house.
Yeah.
They're forgetting that one monkey.
Yeah.
It's the do no evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess that monkey is already loose doing it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're only getting the 3 monkeys.
Yeah.
Or as far as the statues and them doing those gestures, right?
And now maybe Fool is doing the evil against the ropes and
Right? Or all the victims.
all the victims.
Right?
Yeah.
The victims in this house, or the dolls, if you will.
Yeah.
But this introduction gets cut short. Here comes Daddy busting in Allison's room with the shotgun, finds Roach, his number one
Nemesis.
right, that he's been trying to nail this whole time.
Yeah.
But Fool's trying to deter the shotgun. He's trying to prevent Daddy from shooting, but to no avail. Daddy was able to shoot Roach.
Through the wall.
Yeah.
You even see it too. Like
Yeah.
Roach stopped. Like, oh.
Alice is in shock. She's being screamed at by Mommy.
Yeah.
Daddy has Fool pinned down to the bed, shotgun to his head, and he asks, "What do you want me to do with him, Mommy?"
Oh, yeah.
You know, what did she say? It's time for spring cleaning. That's what they were doing. Alice is tormented. Mommy has her clean up Leroy's blood.
Yeah.
Fool and Daddy drag Leroy's body down to the basement with the others.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but the way the Mommy was abusing Alice, you know, she just pushed her and slipped on the puddle of blood, and now she's just like tormented while trying to clean that blood up.
Yeah, and Mommy was mad at her for ruining the dress that she made for her all day.
Right, just verbal abuse, and to the point she gave her a torturous hot bath.
Yeah.
This bath, it just looked too damn hot. Alice was just screaming.
Yeah, it was steaming.
I mean, to the point when she was done, her skin was just straight up orange and red, dude.
It was.
But amongst all of that, here is Fool chained up like the next victim, if you will, but he's just watching Daddy chop up Leroy, eating whatever he chooses, but he's just demonstrating what he does to his victims.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure. Full guts.
Full frontal, no censorship whatsoever, to the point he sees Leroy's body get dropped into a pit of whatever liquid, acid, whatever it may be, but whatever remains just dissolves there.
Yeah.
Now, for Fool, he gets thrown in that pen with the others.
With the rest of the people on the stairs.
Right, and you see Fool fighting. They're like, "No, please, don't put me in there, please, no." But there's no empathy from Daddy. He throws him in there anyways. Daddy went back upstairs to give Mommy the update on what he did to Fool.
Yeah.
Where's the bear?
Dead meat. I could have killed him.
You know, and then for Alice, she's shocked. that Fool is dead, but you just see Fool just shocked to the T as far as what he sees.
Yeah.
And these kids, these poor souls, man, that got trapped in this dungeon, as if for them they're on foreign land. You know,
Yeah.
they're really confused and trying to get to know what they're seeing in front of them.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
vice versa.
Yeah. Again, those people on the stairs can do anything. Roach was able to scare them off.
Yeah.
You know, he was able to reopen that pit and bring forth Leroy's body and scare the kids.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got Fool out of there into safety, but they ended up in the furnace.
Yeah.
Because quick thinking, they had to go in there because they hear Daddy coming back down into the dungeon with Prince.
Yeah.
Here's Roach and Fool in that furnace. You know, Roach is about to die, but for Roach, there's something bigger than him. You know, he spelled Alice's name out. Fool needs to save her, and right before he died, he gave Fool a bag of gold coins.
Yeah.
You know,
a few shekels.
that number one purpose of why Fool was in there in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So from there, Roach dead, Fool can't go out the furnace the same way.
Yeah.
So he crawls up the furnace chimney, which connects to the whole house.
Yeah.
He was able to crawl back up into the vents and back to Alice.
Yeah.
You know, as Fool was making his way up that furnace, Prince the Rottweiler was following him along the way, you know,
Yeah.
barking at every vent that Fool ends up in. Daddy's in Alice's room, applying more punishment. Prince ends up at Alice's door, barking. Obviously, Prince is trying to tell him that he's still alive, Papa.
Yeah.
You know, he's still alive. He's still alive. But Daddy's gonna get that surprise himself, because here is Fool coming out of the vent, giving him a nut check. Alice is shocked that Fool is alive. Daddy comes to from that nut check. He's trying to grab Fool, but Fool is just too elusive. Alice is in the vent. Fool is following her right behind her. Fool is fulfilling that promise that he made to Roach, that he's gonna get Alice out. So they're making their way in this vent, but Daddy, he sends in Prince the Rottweiler instead.
He sends them in to go hunt for Fool.
So now here's Alice and Fool trying to make their escape. Here's Daddy back in the basement. He's lighting up that furnace.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's finally getting his revenge on Roach. The furnace is in smoke.
Man, they're inhaling Roach right now.
Yeah, dude. Like Alice and Fool, they're trying to get out, trying to avoid the booby traps. But here comes Prince right after them, running in between the walls. But eventually, Prince catches up to them. Here's Fool trying to fight off the Rottweiler, you know, wrestling him, trying to get him off of him. Fool's just doing his best. Daddy hears the commotion. He hears that banging in between the walls. It seems like he attaches a bayonet to his shotgun, if you will.
Yeah.
So he begins stabbing the wall. Quick thinking for Fool. He's going to use that to his advantage. Sadly, you know, there was Rottweilers harmed in the making of this movie, because eventually Daddy does match up his bayonet, but the way it was edited and cut, like, it didn't really show
The violent.
the violent act on the animal.
You just heard the whimper.
Yeah.
And Fool playing it off.
And like the way Prince was let go by Fool, it was really slow motion, as if they slowed down the speed on that footage to make it look like it was a kill. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because then when Daddy had to prove that he got Fool, they broke down that wall, but then instead of Fool popping out, it was Prince.
Yeah.
But Prince was just holding on his last breath. But then this one seemed really mechanical, like a stuffed animal or something. So it definitely wasn't the real Prince.
Yeah.
So again, there was no real harm done to Prince.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Rottweiler Prince.
The story continues. Alice and Fool, they end up at the attic window. Fool sees the cityscape. He sees the lights. He smells that fresh air. He screams for help, but Alice is telling him quiet down, like they don't want to give away their position.
Yeah.
However, Daddy hears it. Daddy's on the way up. Fool's trying to convince her, come down the roof with me, we'll land in that pond in the bottom. Again, her not knowing the outside world, she's just afraid.
Yeah.
She just has that phobia, and she's not willing to take that risk. And with that said, you know, here's Daddy bursting in that attic door, finding Fool. He shoots at Fool. Fool dodges the bullets. He's scaling down the roof, but he doesn't want to leave without Alice. He's trying to scream for her, but here's Daddy,
Pops out.
trying to shoot him down. Alice doing everything she can to help Fool. Fool continues down to scale down that roof, and he just takes that leap of faith and falls into the pond.
Yeah, aims for the pond, man.
Luckily enough, he got there safely, and it was deep enough to cradle that fall.
Yeah, thankfully, man.
Yeah.
It was deep enough.
Daddy says, damn, he rushes downstairs. He begins shooting. Fool again dodges those bullets. He hops the fence and just makes his way home. Daddy continues to shoot, but Mommy stops him and tells him, we don't shoot our guns outside.
Daddy, what are you doing?
Right?
Don't shoot your gun outside.
Of course, they're trying to avoid that attention, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of gunfire in the house. It's like the soundproof windows. You can't hear nothing.
Seriously, dude. The story continues. We're back at Fool's apartment. We're there with Grandpa Booker, played by Bill Cobbs, and Ruby, played by Kelly Jo Minter, who, by the way, looks like Cardi B.
Yes.
In this movie, she does.
It does.
Comment below. What do you guys think? Story continues. Grandpa Booker tells Fool the significance of these coins and the rarity, and that these coins are going to have some high value.
Yeah.
And their rent will be paid, and
Till 2001.
right, and it's going to pay Mama's surgery, and their family's going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
All through the risky adventures of what Fool went through.
Yeah.
You know? And then from there, Grandpa Booker gives a full-on detail on what the Robesons are, you know? It's like some straight-up Games of Thrones type shit. You know, they're not really husband and wife, they're truly brother and sister, and that they got greedy with money, you know, starting with like a crooked funeral home.
Selling cheap caskets for high prices.
Yeah, and crooked real estate practices.
Yeah.
Again, just showing the corruption and greed of the theme of this film. And Wes Craven's really shedding light on the type of people that are out there then and now. You know, if this topic is still a hot topic for politicians nowadays, where is the resolution? You know,
for sure.
There's still yet to be any. In my eyes, I mean, could be wrong, but the story continues. Fool made that promise, you know, to Alice that he's gonna get her out. But Ruby, being the big sister, she's scared for Fool's safety, now knowing the truth, and just for what that family is all about. But again, that promise that he made, you know, he's all about his word. So what he does, he calls child affairs on the Robesons, which leads, I don't know, it seems like right away.
Right.
Police being there.
Which later on seemed to be part of his plan for him to sneak in.
And just throughout this whole scene, you just see the Robesons acting chops,
Yeah.
you know?
Showing this facade of being like a fake, normal American family.
Yeah, or just like the fakery of being noble parents, if you will. In any way, it's just trying to convince these police officers that there's nothing going on behind these walls, if you will.
Yeah.
Which was convincing enough because the police end up leaving. However, the Robesons, they continue their acting, if you will, because as they start closing up the doors, locking up their house, uncovering all of their secret compartments.
Yeah.
Mommy was throwing out there that she couldn't watch the back door while the police were there, that anybody could have snuck in, which, like we said, Fool was able to hide in a kitchen cabinet and just, you know, waiting for the coast to be clear.
Which is cool now. It's like Fool was able to use the house to his advantage now. Like,
Yeah.
he was more confident.
He's no longer the outsider. He
Yeah.
knows the inside and out, if you will.
Yeah.
All thanks to Roach.
He gained some knowledge.
Here's Fool. He grabs a weapon. He grabs a fire poker.
Nice.
He makes his way upstairs. He hears the Robesons saying their prayers. But to his surprise, it was a tape recorder.
Yeah.
And here's Daddy in his getup, in his gimp leather suit, and he has Fool hoisted up above him and, you know, ready to do what he will. But Fool gives him a martial art move, gives him an eye gouge.
Quick thinking.
Right? A thumb to the eyes,
Right.
and quickly deters Daddy. But then Mommy, she's mad that she made Alice turn on her.
Yeah.
But Fool fights her off. He hits her in the leg with the fire poker. She goes down. Fool's trying to run away. She trips him. He's able to get back on his feet. He hits Daddy over the head with that fire poker. But man, that iron poker was able to snap in half.
Yeah. And Fool looked at it like, oh shit.
Dude, like, again, like, is he made out of metal or what?
Fuck, man. Evil don't die hard, man.
Right? Fool runs back downstairs. He pretends that he ran back outside. He showed that the back door was open and everything.
Nice. Misleading.
Right? Misled Daddy that he left, but without him knowing that Fool went up the chimney.
Yeah.
The way that Roach taught him. So Fool makes his way up to Alice. He goes up to the attic where Alice is being chained to the wall.
Yeah.
Fool surprises her by knocking out a loose brick and knocks out that bolt that's holding her up, and you know she's free, and you know they have a successful reunion.
Yeah.
But then here comes Daddy, thinking that Fool will make his way up to her. But to no avail. Mommy needed his help and just wanted to go back to bed. And they're going to both go back to the bedroom in frustration. As far as for Daddy, having another one get away. That's one on the tally that he doesn't want.
Yeah, he doesn't know that Fool's still there.
Yep. So since Fool couldn't go through the chimney, he went up the chimney and down through the window, and Fool tells Alice the truth that she and the other kids in the cellar were kids taken from their biological parents. Now she knows the truth. The story continues. Since Allison doesn't want to jump down to the pond, they're going to go down through the chimney and out the front door. But before that, they had to clear the path of the Robesons because you had Daddy trying to shoot up that chimney because he heard the noise, right? But to no avail. They're able to throw down bricks and continue their way, shimmying their way down, giving Mommy a nose jabby. Her smelling caca.
From Fool's fingers. Oh, man.
Story continues. Fool is not done with the Robesons. Fool goes back to the cellar to free the other kids. Daddy heads down there as well, having a hunch of what's going to go down. But unbeknownst to him, here's Fool with that shotgun. Fool's ready to take over the situation. But Daddy, to his quick thinking, he flips a switch which causes the stairs to turn into a slide and Fool falls down and Daddy's finally going to take care of Fool. Mommy confirms that with Daddy while she go finds Alice and gives her punishment. But right before Daddy can do his thing, saved by the doorbell. Here's Ruby, Grandpa Booker, and the whole community that the Robesons are trying to evict.
Yeah.
They're all there on their front lawn, and they're finally confronting them about the truth of their greedy needs.
Yeah, finally taking a stand. Again, it takes one person to make that change. Mm-hmm. Now everyone has the confidence, the strength to, say something.
Back in the cellar, Daddy is about to kill off Fool, but the people on the stairs, the other kids, they're saving him by flashing their flashlights on Daddy and blinding him enough to have Fool get away.
Yeah.
Which leads to Daddy sporadically shooting his shotgun, trying to shoot down Fool, but then he shoots the padlock. Now the pen is open.
Nice.
The kids are going to get out. Fool gets pulled in, but not to get eaten, but to be saved.
Yeah.
As if like Roach talked to these guys, like, you gotta help him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good.
Which leads to, I don't know if you want to say like the leader of this group.
Yeah.
But
the captives.
Yeah, but this kid, shows Fool the vault. Where all this money is being held.
Yeah.
But it's rigged with the alarm. But, he was warned by the kid. But, Fool, he pulls some cords and now it's disarmed. And he goes in and he's just surprised of how much money is in there. And to his surprise, now he knows why there's no money in the ghetto.
There's a lot of money in there.
All the money is here,
Yeah, not in the bank. The basement vault.
We're back upstairs. This is a one tailspin of an ending. Ruby and the other evictees are continuing to confront Mrs. Robeson's criminal acts. Mrs. Robeson begins to get frustrated and she's about to pull her pistol on the crowd. Yeah. I mean, damn, that's fucking ruthless, right?
Yeah, like get off my property. Yeah.
Seriously. But here comes Allison saving the day, popping out of a vent from above and knocking her out cold by slamming her head on the ground.
Yeah, one time.
Dude.
A lot of anger.
What's malnourishment?
For real. So that fasting right there.
Mm-hmm. Ruby's trying to find Fool. They feel like they have Mrs. Robeson contained. But surprise, surprise, with the house being rigged, the front door closes on its own. Ruby's surprised. She's trying to find that heifer. She goes back outside to the front, trying to find Mrs. Robeson, but the door closes right behind her, again being rigged to the switches. Surprises Alice. She's trying to disarm it. It got override by Mommy. Mommy wasn't going to let her get out that easily.
No way.
To the point, Alice finds her in the kitchen, says, I see you. I see you too, darling. Mommy chases after her with the knife.
Man, almost had like a psycho look to it, man.
Yeah, seriously, dude. Definitely that Alfred Hitchcock inspiration.
Butcher knife, man.
Right.
Scary.
Mommy's chasing down Alice. We end up in the lobby of the house, the foyer, if you will, and she's trying to kill Alice.
Yeah, wrestling her on the stairs.
Right?
Yeah.
But unbeknownst to Mommy, the kids under the stairs are loose and they're free and running in between the walls.
Yeah, for sure.
So here's one of them coming up under the stairs, grabbing that knife, biting Mommy to let go, saving Alice. Mommy's distraught. She's telling him, go back into the cellar. Again, one by one, here are the kids coming out of the walls. They're giving their revenge. They're scaring Mommy every step she takes.
Feasting on her.
She runs into the kitchen. She's not looking. She gets stabbed by Alice. Mommy surprised Alice. Her mommy.
Turned on her, yeah.
She still runs away from the kids, but she's trapped.
Surrounded.
She's not going anywhere,
No
it
way.
seems. Now the situation's got turned on her. But to Mommy, the only thing that she has left is to kill Alice.
Kill
that
Alice.
one revenge that she feels like she can get.
Yeah, if I'm gonna die, you're gonna die too.
Right? And
Yep.
she tries to kill Alice with that same knife that she has in her stomach. She pulls it out, tries to run after her, but the kids under the stairs, man, they helped her.
Yeah, I honestly didn't see that one kid come out of nowhere and just grab their arm. Like, whoa.
Seriously, like right on time and just saving Alice from harm. And you just see her getting sworn by her former children, if you will.
Yeah, the kids they abducted.
Right? And just getting that revenge. And Daddy hears her scream. He screams for Mommy! But to his surprise, she gets thrown down the stairs. Her throat is slashed. The kids come down. They show Daddy what they got. He's surprised. He's scared. But then he wants that other Roadrunner. He wants Fool.
He's still there.
Daddy hears something in the vault. He feels Fool may have found the money.
Yeah.
So he's in there. He's trying to find Fool. But to no avail. He got tricked by candles, thinking that it was being flipped by Fool. Fool just had it attached to the wax as the fire burned. One by one, the coins were falling. As Daddy was distracted, here's Fool with some wires.
Oh, man.
And Fool rewired this alarm system to be hooked up to some dynamite that's in the same vault with the money.
Surprisingly.
Right?
Randomly, yeah.
Surprises Fool enough to use it to his advantage. And, he's trying to convince Daddy not to shoot him. Like, I'm gonna blow you sky high, man. But I don't like you anyways. He's just throwing that whole bit like everyone can come out peacefully. But Daddy just being a whole batch of crazy. Again, Fool is elusive. He dodges those bullets, reconnects the wires. He creates one big explosion that's connected to the C4 to the point. And
Chain reaction, man.
The house explodes. The money blows up in the air through the chimney.
Through the vents.
The money just comes down like confetti.
It's like Price is Right, where you have to try and grab as much money as you can in the air.
Seriously, dude. Everyone was happy to the point that they didn't have to fight for it because it looked like there was enough money for everybody at this point.
Yeah, man. They look so happy. Like, man, I don't know what's going on, man, but hey.
Even the kids, they're grabbing it. They don't know what to do with it.
That was cool, too.
Money wasn't going to buy happiness, but it was going to help. You know what I'm saying?
Right. As if, like, Fool was the young Robin Hood.
Seriously. He was that spark. Literally, that spark that, that was going to help change the world.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Black Robin Hood.
We're back in the basement. As the smoke cleared, Alice goes back downstairs. Fool was sitting there at the bottom of the steps, looking down at Mommy. And Alice asked, "Are you okay, Fool?" And, he gave that line, "I feel like $1 million."
Hell yeah. It's a good line.
Cut to the streets. You see one of the kids, the leader of people under the stairs, if you will. You see him leaving the back way of the basement. The confetti of money is falling. And you just see all the other kids, all the victims that got trapped for all those years, finally on the streets. And who knows? Who knows what kind of freedom that they're going to enjoy, what they're going to run into, or just the next chapters of their life. For this whole neighborhood, for Fool, for everybody, the many what ifs that's going to happen now.
It's kind of cool, like the people didn't get scared of the people under the stairs when they came out.
Oh yeah, they were so filled with joy.
Yeah.
They've seen enough horrors in their life. Like it's nothing to them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But that's how this movie ends, y'all. Victory for the community and for the people. You know what I'm saying? They finally get to celebrate. You know what I mean?
They get what's due to them.
Right? They get their just due. The Robesons finally reaped what they sowed. And, Alice finally gets to live a much happier life. And, Fool finally gets to live a stress-free childhood.
Yeah, like his mom gets the medical attention she needs.
Yeah.
Maybe he might be able to go to med school.
But with the horrors that he's seen in that house, maybe he'll second guess medical school.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll do more community work.
Yeah.
Or, something that deals with the troubled youth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Maybe be a doctor for the low-income
Yeah.
community.
So, yeah, y'all. I mean, that was The People Under the Stairs.
Hell yeah. Classic, man.
One of Wes Craven's under-the-radar films. And, again, if you haven't seen this film, you just have to watch it.
Great movie for no CGI, no computer graphics.
Great writing, great film direction.
Great angles. Man, going through the walls, going in between the walls.
Right. All from the creative mind of Wes Craven, you know?
I can only imagine how he got those shots. Like a dolly, or was he holding it with them, going through it with them?
Yeah.
Especially the vents.
Hey, I mean, for a $6 million budget at his dispose, Wes Craven really made it work.
Yeah. If you see the inside of this house and you watch the Nightmare on Elm Street films, you get the same vibe of the inside. The dark, dingy, uncomfortable, heavy feeling.
Especially the Dutch camera angles that Wes Craven, puts in this film. Wes Craven felt like this was an urban version of The Hills Have Eyes. And again, by adding that social injustice, social commentary theme to this film. And again, like, kudos to Wes Craven for writing this for a white guy to talk about this type of topic and for it to be known.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Definitely shows that Wes Craven was ahead of the curve as far as when it came down to creativity and just using real life scenarios and real life crimes that went down, and he uses it not out of mockery but as an inspiration. And it's like on top of child slavery or child abductions,
child abuse.
And just mixing it with the topic of burglary, like, you wouldn't have thought that one news article that he read in LA Times or whatever article that he read, it's like that sparked something, that sparked this story.
Yeah.
This movie was an hour 2 minutes long, and it was long enough, to the point where you didn't need unnecessary political views, juxtaposition on this topic, just given the time restraints, it was well written that you got enough.
Yeah.
For Wes Craven, he wanted to turn this film into a TV series right before he passed away. So you can only imagine the things he was going to elaborate on this movie, as far as the house, the Robesons, and just the community itself, and just like how this story became to be, you know?
I really like how this movie opened with the problem already.
Totally.
As far as for full-sided story.
Yeah, we got introduced to the Robesons, and like their lifestyle and just how they act. And the creepy vibe you got off of these people, like, have a sense of what's to come.
You met all the major players within 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, dude.
Especially even Alice.
Yeah, and like, you just let the movie play out itself.
And look, they didn't have to show no flashback, just good dialogue.
Yeah.
And it didn't drag. And as far as for the kids under the stairs, I think, that was enough. You didn't really need backstory. I think that would be good for the series. But as far as the movie, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Didn't need to go in depth.
Pretty much, you left that to the imagination of the audience.
Yeah. The way Roach looked compared to the other kids in the stairs, it's like he was able to escape and not be in the dark a lot. That's why he looked somewhat more human than the rest of the people, because he was able to come out, go into the room, hang out with Alice.
Yeah, because Alice was feeding him her food that she was supposed to eat. But for Mommy, she always wondered why the plate was so clean or why certain utensils were out of place.
Yeah.
But then she really knew, like, she had a feeling that she was feeding that thing in the wall again.
Yeah. Instead of always being cooped up in the cellar. That's why he doesn't look as pale or as deformed or whatnot, but he doesn't have his tongue.
And as far as for Everett McGill and Wendy Robbie's characters, you do get that vibe of, like, old middle America, old tradition type feeling from them. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like the way they're dressed and, again, just the way you're thinking and with their way of rules.
Yeah, as if like they're still stuck in like the 50s.
Yeah.
50s and 60s type of parenting.
Right. It's known that, like, these characters are parodies of
Nancy and Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, and I guess for whatever politics that they were into at that time, and Wes Craven threw that commentary on that, maybe because he grew up during that time and just having that experience, right? But hey, just kudos to their acting and I guess when you say chemistry, because they have worked before on the TV show Twin Peaks.
Yeah. Mommy had the eye patch.
Yeah. So as if like their character was an extension.
Yeah.
But then that vibe of the Reagans.
Yeah.
Kudos to Brandon Adams. It's like knowing how tormenting this film looks.
Yeah. Traumatizing.
Yeah. Like he didn't let this movie like really fuck him up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, man, all that movie fucked me up. You know, like I saw like shit I wasn't supposed to see at that age.
Right, especially right after he got more family-friendly films, more wholesome, in the Sandlots and the Mighty Ducks movies.
Yeah.
But definitely a good transition for his career and for his mental health.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah, that's cool. Like he got older roles and not just kid roles. He aged well.
Yeah. And definitely shout out to AJ Langer who played Alice. It's like just throughout this whole film she got the worst end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, like coming from AJ Langer's character as an actor, for anyone, just having an actor or another actor all in your face, verbal abuse, like just absorbing all that. You know what I mean? Like, damn. You know, yeah, it's acting, but it's like you gotta be in the character. You gotta be in the moment.
What a role, because this was her first film.
There you go.
It's crazy. I mean, I just wonder if she did some theater work or what did she did in the past to kind of help prepare for this character.
Yeah, building it up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she did well. She did great.
Yeah. And definitely shout out to Roach, you know, the unsung hero who helped Fool find a way and who also helped Alice keep company.
Yeah.
Shout out Sean Whalen.
Mr. Whalen.
You may know him from that Got Milk commercial.
Yes. Who shot Alexander Hamilton? And then he said, Umba.
He couldn't pronounce it correctly because of the peanut butter.
Yeah.
And he tried to clear his mouth or clear his throat with milk because I guess that's the best solution for peanut butter, but he was out of milk.
Yeah.
And I guess whatever the prize money, he just really wanted it, and he had that answer, but the peanut butter was just stuck to his mouth, and he couldn't say it.
Now I wonder if this was pre or post people under the stairs.
Hey.
Because the tongue went,
Hey, maybe that's why he got that role.
Calling back to that, either way, right?
Yeah,
if you know this guy, did his Roach.
Seriously.
Right? Oh, shit.
I don't know if it's a known fact, but Hilary Swank was up for the role of Roach.
Oh, yeah.
So it would have been an interesting take on her part. However, there wasn't no real description or script written for Roach. So you didn't know what this character was going to provide. Maybe Sean brought that Got Milk commercial and just made up this character on the fly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you guys never seen that Got Milk commercial, you might have seen him in that movie, That Thing You Do.
Nice.
He's one of the first diehard fans of the band who went to all of their gigs pretty much.
Yeah.
And bought 5 pieces of their records.
For $1 a piece, which now is iTunes, like what, $1.99 now? It's crazy.
Seriously, man, that's nuts.
That's crazy. If you think about it now, that's equivalent to today's money. Like one song for $1. One album for $1. Wow. Ahead of the time.
Times never changed.
Shit, 1 million people buy it for $1. That's $1 million.
Crazy to think about, huh, guys? If I was going to give my rating on this movie, I have to give it a 5. Not because it's a Wes Craven film, but for the direction and the camera angles, the overall risk that Wes Craven took for writing about such topics.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
Again, just being that white guy talking about this topic that's meant for the minorities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not knowing too much of Wes Craven's life, but I don't know how he grew up, who he grew up around with. Was it more of an urban setting or suburbs? But I don't know how diverse was his life. But again, for a white guy to touch upon this topic, you know, he is definitely ahead of the curve.
For sure.
A low budget film at $6 million and to have commercial success with 31 mil. I mean, that said a lot for him, for his creativity, and again, like this topic or this movie being ahead of the time, knowing that this crisis is still happening today, as far as child abductions, child abuse,
gentrification,
capitalism, and the class warfare in terms of the middle class and high class. Greed and money definitely can make people go crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you have to live up a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's why money isn't always the answer, y'all. I mean, it can help us, you know, do certain things and get to certain places, but it's not always the answer.
Yeah, people think money makes them invisible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The horror makeup and the effects in this film, like, it wasn't too grotesque, it wasn't too scary, but it was enough.
Yeah.
Enough to be digestible, if you will, you know, for any viewer in the audience.
Yeah, close to like Dusk Till Dawn makeup, you know.
For sure.
Maybe same studio, I'm not sure, but to that effect, it's pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
For me, 5. Yeah, I love the house. Secret doors, secret passage. If it was nicer, yeah, of course, but it's cool to kind of have a house like that. Maybe not all of those compartments, but maybe 1 or 2, just for emergency purposes. But then other than that, yeah, man, the story's good. Very mentally, psychologically terrifying. You know, as a kid, because you get trapped in the house, how are you going to get out? Right? It's really scary. And to have those kind of people in that house, Felt relatable. You never know who your neighbors are. And it doesn't have to be in a bad neighborhood, guys.
No.
You could be in the richest place in the world.
For real.
You never know who your neighbors are.
Never know.
So, People in the Stairs, man. Watched this when I was a kid. Still good today. It lives up.
Still lives up,
It
y'all.
lives up. It's timeless. Even the quality of the movie, it's still good.
I mean, it's rumored that Jordan Peele is going to remake this film. I'm not sure if it's going to be a film or what was promised by Wes Craven as a TV series. But only time can tell, so who knows what's going to be in the cards for Jordan Peele and this reboot. But definitely watch it before that happens. Really appreciate the originality and just what this movie provides and the experience that you will witness.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like you just won't be disappointed, y'all.
Yeah, using a real life story as inspiration. That's what Wes Craven did as well for Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
where people actually died in their dreams. And then there's that thing, right? The dream root. And there's a Supernatural episode where they touched upon that.
Yeah.
So you go in somebody's dreams, it feels so real. Like, you don't know if you're in your dream or not.
Yeah, I'm not too sure which culture that stems off from, but comment below if you guys know about that dream root.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Or if you guys like Supernatural and you know of that episode, comment below.
Yes, please.
So yeah, y'all, that was The People Under the Stairs.
Yes.
Wes Craven's underrated film. I mean, we can't emphasize enough on this film. Just gain that experience yourselves. Feel that thrill. Get scared. The jump scares, well paced, well written, and just classic Wes Craven magic.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't seen Wes Craven's films, or this film particularly, it's that season, or all year round, to dive into his work and to appreciate it. And if you guys are directors, writers, whatever medium you dabble in, his creativity is something to admire and to be inspired by.
I just thought about in my head, like, everyone's Halloween costume is Scream or Nightmare on Elm Street. That would be cool. People dressed up as their Robesons and one as Alice and then just walk around, right?
Oh shit, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that.
Right, the Robesons and then Alice.
Seriously?
Maybe Roach, but just as far as costume wise, and that's easy.
Supposedly, if Universal Studios in Florida, they had a haunted house type maze. Comment below if you guys ever experienced that, or there's footage on YouTube somewhere. But hey, if that's an experience for somebody.
Because in the movie, towards the end, we do see some stunt doubles of Alice and Mommy.
For us, I don't know, it just stuck out.
Yeah.
Hey. And if you guys are cinemaphiles like that, then you're going to have to watch that scene to know what we're talking about.
Yeah. It's quick.
Yeah.
It's quick.
So again, y'all, whatever bin you guys find it in, watch this film for yourself. Get scared. Get enlightened. Learn about the social injustice that still goes on today.
Yeah.
Learn about the real-life horrors of child abduction.
And be wary of robberies, man. That's going on today still.
Yeah. Just be wary of the overall real-life horrors that goes on in the world.
Yes, please.
But if you don't like clutter in your home, whatever platform that you feel comfortable with, stream it however you get it. Definitely you do you. And if you reach this part of the video, we highly appreciate you because you already know time is expensive.
Very.
And we love you for spending that time with us.
Yeah, man. Thank you for chilling with us.
Yeah. But if you're here for the first time, definitely like, subscribe, comment. What would you like us to look into next? But if you're a returnee, definitely share what you've watched today. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and they to two friends, and so on and so on. Because definitely we're going to have a lot more to come as far as music, movies, and comic book reviews on the way on top of our own creations.
Yes. Can't wait. A lot of goodies.
So definitely follow, physical follow, avatar follow, whatever floats your boat. Definitely follow us on that journey.
Yes.
And now we like to end this episode with a motivational quote for y'all. But if you've heard this before, by all means, just let it be a self-reflection of where we are today.
In the present.
And this one is by an unknown author, it seems. And it states, "This isn't about candles. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle." End quote.
Nice.
Alright, very much like the ending of this film. I feel like that's the metaphor for there's two sides to every coin.
Yeah.
As far as for the community that's going through the evictions and the horrendous living conditions, and then you got the rich, who are greedy off of this thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure.
So it's like, again, the two sides of the same coin. And then the candle, being that spark being that light, being the artist, having that inner vision in the darkness, like sparking that inspiration in others for a better world, for a better community, for a better home, whatever it may be.
Better way of life.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like whatever you do as a person, a human being, is going to inspire somebody.
Yeah.
Like what Fool did in this movie. He said to himself that he's a whole different person and that he's going to prove that he's going to get out.
Yeah.
You know, which he did. And then look, he helped out the community.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what you said. He's like the Black Robin Hood.
Yeah.
You know, he gave money back to the community.
Yep.
He already felt like $1 million. Like what he accomplished was enough for him.
He did service for his community.
Yeah, dude. He fulfilled that promise.
Yeah. He himself felt fulfilled. What are riches? Bob Marley said, "I'm rich already."
So again, y'all, like it's more about a candle. It's that spark that the candle harnesses, and where you're gonna take that light, you know,
Yeah.
and who you're gonna bring with you through the darkness.
Yeah.
That needs that end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like you lead them, you take them by the hand, lead them with that candle.
like Fool did with Alice.
Yep.
You know, he tried to show her the light through that window, but she was afraid to take that leap.
Think about it. Everyone in this movie was a light for each one.
Yep. They all were something for each other.
Yeah.
You know, even for Leroy.
Yeah, even Leroy.
Yeah.
They used Fool, but then it's the way just everything worked out. If Leroy didn't rob that spot, they wouldn't have known about the map. They wouldn't have known about the house.
Yeah.
Leroy was cool enough to tell Fool about it.
And there was candles in this movie, y'all.
Yeah.
As far as the metaphors that were shown in those scenes. So
In the beginning and the end of the movie.
yeah, catch it for yourselves and see where we're coming from.
Yeah, man. It's a great movie, guys.
Can't emphasize it enough.
Please watch it.
Because it's that time where we're going to say, stay creative, keep creating,
Stay independent. Have your own voice.
do your best as a human being to stay motivated and to keep on going.
Yes, stay positive. Kill the negativity. Love yourself and be kind.
And rewind.
Rewind.
Till next time, y'all.
Till next time.
Peace.
Peace. We watch what we eat very carefully here. Where's your fork?